sat down with us back in 2000 for part of our global board diversity tracker to talk about the power of a diverse board. And so, as you were the chair at Natura, how did you leverage that diversity of perspective around the board table to drive better sustainability outcomes kind of across your stakeholders, so customers, employees, communities?
From the beginning, as we are, expanding and becoming more global, it became also very clear for the founders, for myself, that we needed to bring different capabilities. People with different backgrounds, people that had different experiences throughout their career, become such an important element of a board that can then really function and challenge appropriate management. To be uncomfortable all the time and trying to really push the envelope and not be afraid to dream big, and then understanding that this whole notion of a I call sustainable growth, it is now imperative, and a sustainable and just. The just element is equally important because there is the inequality, and the developed countries that who are responsible for over 75% of the problem. So there is an important notion of a more collaborative approach between regions and countries and companies, even sectors. We are not going to be competing in some of those things. It is a part of the coexistence and how we drive common solutions, even within the same industry, to be able to really scale things up. So it is really the diversity of thinking and the openness to challenge and new ideas is, I think, is going to become a prerequisite of any successful board in the future.
What would be your advice to our consultants and our team about how do we start some of these conversations with board members who maybe haven't prioritized sustainability as much as they could have or should have, and haven't really embedded it in the core yet? Are there some ways for us to approach them so it doesn't feel like it's we're putting them on the defensive?
The innovation needs to be embedded in this notion of a more sustainable and fair growth and future, making sure that board members understand that. And I think if they understand that, it becomes a much easier conversation for them to be more curious about it and then try to drive that agenda. Companies also need to understand, and board, that it is about how you also stay relevant with your customers, with your consumers. Clear, there is enough data to show that they're making decisions now about companies and products based on what is the purpose of the company, how this company is approaching ESG, and what's their progress, what their commitment in terms of becoming net zero, right? So if you don't have that, you're going to lose a lot of your customers in one way or the other. And I'm not just talking about a business direct to consumer, because again, it's all interconnected. Companies, need to get to scope 3, which is all about the supply chain and how you deal with your suppliers and vendors. So it is coming, and it's coming like a wave, and there is no way back because again, there is no plan B.